March 25th. Wednesday, March 25th. So, I looked at the Weather Channel last night, and it was supposed to rain all day today. It's supposed to be nasty, horrible, and I look outside, and all I see is sunshine. So, beautiful morning. Hopefully you're enjoying it. I guess it's afternoon now, though, right? So, I'm going to spend some time here doing some of the select parts of the Unit 3 assignment. This will be uploaded to YouTube. Now, I'm not going to do all of it. I'm not here to hold your hands. But what I'm going to do is try to help you with the Chapter 6 stuff, which can get it's a little bit harder than the homework was. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. So I just want to make sure you had something to help yourself with. Now, remember, when I do this, everybody's got different numbers. So your numbers will not be my numbers. So if you type in what I put into your work, you're going to get a lot of X's. So we don't want to do that. So before we start, though, I'm going to read a quick little devotion. And this actually makes a little sense because it is kind of a beautiful day like today, which technically I wasn't expecting. I was hoping for it, but I didn't expect it. But now I see the sunshine, which is great. So here's our message for today. This is from a guy named Jeffrey who lives in Kentucky. He says, "Here we are, right in the midst of Lent, looking with anticipation towards the day we celebrate the resurrection of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. We are also looking forward to the coming days that will be filled with sunshine, blossoming flowers, and singing birds. The calendar says spring has arrived." Isn't it the most exciting time of the year? We can see and even feel new life surrounding us on every hand. Every day we awaken to the wonderful joy of the resurrection. Winter, with all its wonder, is given away to rebirth. Aren't you just thrilled? Just think how overjoyed the women at the tomb were on that first Easter morning. He's not here, he is risen. Where the sweetest and most unexpected words they had heard, these were the sweetest and most unexpected words they've heard in their whole lives. Let us live our Christian lives with the enthusiasm the resurrection power can bring. And like the women on that morning long ago, let's share the good news. So that's from Jeffrey in Kentucky. I enjoyed that. Hopefully you did too. And now we're going to start doing some Unit 3. I'm going to kind of do a little bit of direction, I guess. What's this red button here? I don't like that. I guess it's fine. Looks like we're good. I guess the red beans were live, right? I should have known that. Anyway, so there's 6 problems in this Unit 3 assignment. 3 and 4 are nice and short. Okay, so that's going to be an easy way to get a lot of points. 6 is actually pretty easy too, but it ties into 5. So what you've got here is 1 and 2. 1 and 2 are Chapter 5 questions. Number 1 is purchasing transactions. Number 2 is sales transactions. And then 3, 4, 5, and 6, Chapter 6, inventory costing problem, okay? Let's take a quick look at number 1. So number 1, you've got 2 different purchases to account for. You have a purchase to a company called Lion, and you have a purchase to a company called Frist. I always want to say first there, but it's actually Frist right there. It's F-R-I, not F-I-R. And they both have discounts. You see there's a 2% discount here if you pay in 15 days, and guess what? They're going to pay in 15 days, so you have to do that. And then down here they have a 1% discount if they pay in 10 days, and guess what? They're going to pay in 10 days, so you got to worry about the 1% discount. Now your discount might be different. It might be a different number. So again, make sure when you look at these problems you use your discounts. Don't use my discounts, even though they might be the same. So the good thing about this problem is there's 7 entries. That's not a good thing, right? It's a bad thing. Well, I think it's a good thing. But anyway, what you need to think about here is there's only 3 possible accounts involved, okay? You've got cash, you've got accounts, let's do cash, merchandise inventory, accounts payable. So with these entries, the good news is you got a 1 in 3 chance of guessing the right account. Now, we shouldn't need to guess at this point, but it's a nice limited selection of accounts to use. All right. So when you go through number one, remember there's only 3 possible accounts: cash, merchandise inventory, accounts payable. All right. You can handle it. We did the worksheet in class. That'll help you with this problem. Okay. Also, the Unit 5 quick study and homework should help you as well. Now, number two is about as hard as a sales problem can get. Sales transactions, a credit sales transaction, I should say. You've got we make a sale. Actually, it starts off with this buying some inventory. That's kind of strange, but not strange, but it is a cash purchase of inventory, so it's pretty straightforward. But once you get past the first line where you buy some inventory, it's all sales transactions information. So you got to, it's a credit sale, so you got a bunch of accounts that are possible here. So let's go through our 8 accounts. There's 8 possible accounts here. You've got cash, you've got accounts receivable, you've got merchandise inventory, then you got sales, cost of goods sold, sales discounts, sales returns and allowances, and then finally, possibly, delivery costs. But that's not in this problem. So there is no delivery cost in this problem. So really, you can go down to 7. So I heard in the Tuesday, Thursday class, I might not have done the back side of that worksheet in class. I meant to. I thought I did. But if I didn't, you may have some trouble there. So what I want you to do is use the Chapter 5. If you go to your Chapter 5 homework, you should see something close to this, and it should help you. If not, then you can contact me directly, and we'll go through it individually if you need to. I did help a student yesterday. We used Discord. It worked okay, I think. If you have Discord, if you put it on your computer, this student was using their phone. It did work, but if you can do it on your PC, I assume Apple too or Mac, but I'm not a Mac person, so I don't know how to do it. If you use it on your PC, then we can actually do like a call together, and you can share your screen, and that way we can each see each other's screens, which makes it a little bit more useful, but it can be a little tricky to get the sound to work and to get the mic to work. The mic to work essentially. Anyway, let's move on to number 6. The Chapter 6 stuff, which is 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll do number 3 real fast. So I'm going to go ahead and do some of this. This one's really short, which is just record. All that we're doing here is recording the purchases and beginning inventory. So when you talk about cost of goods available for sale, that's going to be what you start with plus what you add in any period. Okay, so this is talking about the month of March. So we're going to start off with some inventory that we probably purchased in February or maybe January. And then we're going to have 3 purchases to account for throughout the month. So we'll just go ahead and type this in. Remember, your numbers will be different, so don't use my numbers. Use your numbers. But all we're doing here is just kind of retyping this information, not this over here. We'll come back to this here later. But the units acquired at cost is what we're kind of transferring down to this box down here. That's all we're really doing. Okay, we're writing it over. So here our beginning inventory. I have 130, and the cost per unit is $51. Let me use my keypad over here. 51.6. Okay. Then we got our next purchase on our first purchase. That was beginning inventory. Now our first purchase on March 5th is oh goodness, 240, and why didn't it mill over? That's okay. 56.6 for the price of those. Then we got 100 units on the 18th. That price is $61.60. And then finally I got 180 units. And that price is $63.60. Okay. So one thing I want to see here that you hopefully look to and can notice it is that the 650, which is the number of units that we either started with and added to get this number, is the amount that's available for sale throughout March. And that makes sense. It ties together. It sounds good. It's correct. Okay. And then over here, this is our total cost of inventory. Okay, that's our total cost of inventory. So if I'm doing the weighted average, which for the whole month, okay, not talking about just for whenever a sale is made, but if I'm going to do the weighted average for the whole month, which is not something we're going to be doing, but if I wanted to calculate it right now for the entire month by weighted average cost of inventory for one item, at the end of the month, that would do $37,900. Okay, and that is, you see, that's the cost of goods available for sale. And I'll divide that by the number of units available for sale, which is 650. So if I was doing weighted average cost for the whole month, then one unit would be what, $58.31? We don't have to do that, but if we did, that would be the weighted average cost of one unit at the end of the month, assuming no sales. Okay, but there are some sales. Regardless, that's that. I mean, that's easy. You could do that without me, and you see that that's it. Done, okay? Now, in my problem, okay, so in my problem, I have a total number available for sale of 650 units. Okay, and how many did I sell? Well, I sold, in my problem, 450. So how many did I sell throughout how many do I have left at the end of the month? Obviously, hopefully it's obviously, but obviously it's 200 units, right? That would be the amount that I had minus the amount that I sold. Of course, will be the amounts that I have left, okay? Which I think is essentially question number 4. There you go. Compute the number of units in ending inventory. Oh, that's hard, man. Wow. Right? 200. Okay, check my work. Okay, you don't need me for that. Hopefully, if you do, then, sorry. But anyway, so there's that one, right? Not hard at all. But, now it's not going to be easy anymore. It's going to get tough, and here's where it gets tough. Okay, well, it's not tough. It's just we got to go through a bunch of stuff. Okay, we got to go through the numbers. We got to look at our different costing methods. I'm going to do 2. I'm going to do FIFO, and I'm going to do specific identification. All right. So I'm going to do FIFO, and I'm going to do specific identification. You got to do LIFO and weighted average cost by yourself. Okay. You get your textbook. You got your homework. Okay. You can do it. But I'm going to go through now, and I'm going to do FIFO and specific identification. So, and then we're actually going to go to number 6, and I'll do the 6, some of it there too. All right. So ultimately, the column over here, this column over here is essentially just kind of, let me resize this up a little bit, make it a little bit smaller here. You don't need to see me anyway. You get more of the screen that way, right? Okay, so this over here, okay, well, you see, it's already got the beginning inventory already in there for us, which is nice. Okay, that's good. But here is where we're going to put in our purchases, our 3 purchases over here, okay, with the cost. So the only thing unfortunate about this is you got to keep going to go up and down, right? So our first purchase is right here. So we're going to put that in first. 240 units at $56.60 each. So 240, 56.60 for my numbers, okay? And so now at the end of March 5th, after that first purchase, what's left in inventory? Well, what's left in inventory is beginning inventory, which is the 130. Okay, you see it right there above us at 51.60. And the new purchase of 240. So that's what would be left, or what's in inventory after the first the first purchase. And now we're going to go to March 9th, and we've got essentially, if you look at these as 2 separate groups of inventory, we've got what was first put in inventory is our beginning inventory, and what was put in second is the 240. Okay, so remember, we're doing first in, first out. So that means the 130 have to come out of inventory first as a cost. And then whatever else comes out at of the 240 cost, okay, the 240 unit cost. So let's see what was sold. So we sold 290 units. So we have to account for the cost of 290 units, right? So 290 units need to be removed from inventory. Okay, and we have to figure out the cost. Okay, well, 130 of them, which is this first group, that's going to be the first cost assigned. It'll be the 130 of them at the beginning inventory cost. Okay, so the cost of goods sold will be 130 units at a price of $51.60 each. So that's not enough, right? We sold way more than that. Okay, so what did we sell? You see it highlighted there in gray. Okay, so we sold 290 units. Okay, I get my little calculator here. We sold 290 units. All right. I just accounted for the cost of 130 from them. So I'm going to subtract 130 to come up with, I still have to find a cost for 160 more units. And that's going to be at the second group, which is a little bit higher of a cost. But that'll be the 160 will come out of the March 5th purchase. Right? Now, what's left in inventory? What is left in inventory? Well, all of these guys got sold. Or not sold, but costed out, I should say, okay? So these are all gone. There's 0 of those left. But how many is left from this purchase here? Well, we started with 240. I pulled out 160. So I gotta do some more math, right? 80, right? So I got 80 units left. And they're all at that cost of the second purchase of $56.60. Good, right? All right. It looks like we got to keep up with all the purchases no matter what, which is fine. All right. So now we're on to the March 18th. So the March 18th purchase. All right. The March 18th purchase, that's up here. 100 units, $61.60 each. Okay, so let's put those in there in the inventory. 100 units, $61.60 each. Beautiful. Okay, so what this is over here is kind of a rehash of up here plus our new entry. So if we're kind of pulling this down, remember this is that first purchase. There's 0 of those left. There's 80 of the second purchase left. And that first purchase, I said it wrong again. The first purchase is beginning inventory. Okay. And then this last one down here is the 100 that we just added. Okay? So right now, after the second purchase, we had 80 units in inventory. We added 100 more units. So if you do this math, of course, what's currently in inventory is 180 units. 180 units, okay? Now, March 25th. Okay, March 25th, we got another purchase to account for. 180 units, $63.60 per unit, okay? So come down here, 180, $63.60. All right? So now, what's left in inventory, okay? Well, we're going to recopy this first. So there's the 0, the 80, the 100. And then this last group is this most recent purchase of 180. Okay? There we go. Everybody with me? All right. So now we're to almost the last day of the month. Remember, there's only 30 days in March, so it's the day before the last day of the month, the 29th. And we have our second sale of the month for 160 units. Okay? 160 units. All right. So we're looking at this for our costing information. Okay? We would like to take, because remember, we're doing first in, first out. We would like to take our inventory out of this group because it's first. It was the first stuff in inventory, but look, it's all gone. It's 0. We can't use it. Okay, so we have to go to the second The second first, not really second first, but the second one's put in inventory, which would be the new first, I guess, is these 80. Okay, so these 80 here are going to come out in terms of we're going to cost them out of inventory. What's our 160? Okay. So so there's 0 of these guys can be in the cost of the March 29th purchase because there's none to cost out. We have 80 at the second price, and that's going to be the 56.60. No, I don't want to do that. 80. Okay. So there's the 80, but I still have to account for another 80 because we sold 160. So I'm going to go down to the third group, which is these 100. Okay, and I'll take 80 out of that group. Okay, and now at this point we've accounted for all of them, so we're going to take 0 out of that last group. Okay, I think you can leave that blank actually, but there's 0 in the cost of sales there. All right. And so now we got to see what's left. So over here we had 0 in this first batch. We had 80 in this second batch, but look, we took all 80 of them out, so there's 0 in that second batch too. And we had 100 in this third batch, and we took 80 of them out. So we have 20 left in that third batch. And then finally we have in that last batch, the 180, we took none of those, so they're all left. And I typed it in wrong, but type it again, 180. So think about question 4, okay? Question 4 said, how many items are left in inventory? Well, look. If you go back to number 4 real quick, we said it was 200, okay? And if I go forward back to where I was, okay, you see there was these 20 plus this 180, so there's 200 left. The math's all working out just fine. So what I've got is a completed first in, first out schedule under the perpetual method for FIFO, okay? So my cost of goods sold, this is this middle column, cost of goods sold. The cost of goods sold I figured out to be $25,220. And the value of my inventory balance, my ending inventory balance is $12,680. Again, your numbers will be different, so don't think, well, why don't my numbers match Coach's numbers? Or if I put them in and they do match, why is it not working right? Because you got to use your numbers. You can't use mine. Okay, now let's get ahead of ourselves a little bit. Okay, let's go to number 6. So, number 6 is, well, how much profit are we making on each of these different methods, okay? And so we got to figure out what the sales are. Well, I don't know what that is. We did sell some stuff, but I don't know what the price is. All right, look, I got my whiteboard. You're going to love this, right? Beautiful. This is why I bought this bad boy, right? So look, okay? Oh, there we go. This is my numbers, okay? You see here, if you go up to the top, you look around, you'll see it, it's almost highlighted, right? So here's the first one. You see that up here, March 9th. We sold 290 units. They were $86.60 each, which was a total of $25,114. That's my sales for that first purchase, or first sale. That's the sales amount, okay? And then on the 29th, let me highlight it for you. And how you love this kind of highlighting, is that right? There we go. Oh, okay. So on the 29th, 160 units, $96.60 each. That's $15,456. Up a little bit. If I add these two numbers together, 25 and the 15, I come with $40,570. Okay. It doesn't matter what method I use for inventory costing. Okay, the sales is the same for all 4 methods. And that's how you calculate it right there. Okay, so that's your math. All right, so what's that number again? 40,570. So all of these is 40,570. Well, I had typed it in once, see? The computer knows it too. So we did complete the FIFO. So we can find this number if you go back to the previous problem. Okay, we'll do that. We're looking for cost of goods sold. That's this middle column. We just figured it out, right? Cost of goods sold. See right there? Let's go down to the bottom. Boom, right there. 25,220. That's the number. No problem, man. That's the number. That's the number we got to pull forward to number 6. 25,220. Okay. Oh man, this is cheap. I gotta do the math myself. All right, guys. Computer's not doing it for us. We gotta do it ourselves. We got 40,570. We got subtract from it 25,220. Okay. My calculator, because I can't do math in my head, says 15,350. Let's check it real quick to see. Boom, right? All right, now it's not complete. I got to do the rest of them. I'm not going to do the rest of them. You got to do some of them yourself. But you see, I did it correctly, okay? And also, we'll do a quick check here. Make you know that I'm not going insane, right? Okay, there we go. We got all these green checks. Look how smart this guy is. Okay, you can be that smart too one of these days. I'm just teasing. But anyway, get these filled in. Okay. Excuse me. So you got to do FIFO yourself. You got to do weighted average yourself. Okay, I'm not going to hold your hand too much. I'm going to do specific notifications for you, though. So let's do that. So let's go to the number, well, not the number, the fourth tab, okay? And we'll do specific identification, okay? Again, this is a rare, hardly ever used. What was the graph? Remember the graph? It was like less than 4% of all companies use specific identification. Most of them use something different. Like FIFO was the first, about 50%. I think it was 48%. And then what was it? LIFO was about 28%, 20% for weighted average. Okay, you can go review your notes for that. But anyway, here is the specific identification part of it. Now that means they actually have to do some reading. Okay, we have to read this information here because from there it tells you what was sold. All right, but let's go through the process. Let's, do this one here too, and then I'll wind it down and let you guys finish everything out for me. Also, I do need to put up a Unit 3 exam. It'll be computer-based. I'll try to have it up today, and I'll probably give you to sometime mid-next week to complete it. The assignment, I'm going to have it due. I think it's currently due on Friday. I'm going to push that to Sunday night, okay? Don't gotta wait around, but I just want to give you one. That way you get your homework done by Friday, assignment done by Sunday, then about like Wednesday next week will be when the Unit 3 test will be due, okay? 60-point test. It's important that you do well on it. And you will not get a gazillion check your works either, so don't expect it. All right. Here we go. So here's our first beginning inventory is already put there for us. Okay. So let's go with our first purchase, which is on March 5th. Okay, so it's March 5th. Here's our purchase. 240 units, $56.60 each. So 240, $56.60. Okay. So after that purchase, you're here for help. All right, man. Hey, you can learn something. Nurses need to know how to do accounting too. Just saying. What's left in inventory after our purchase is the original 130 plus the 240 that we added in the March 5th purchase. So that's nice and easy. Excuse me. Again, so now specific identification, they have to tell you what was sold. And so here's where it begins. It says right here, for specific identification, okay, the March 9th sale consists of 80 units from beginning inventory and then 210 units from the March 5th purchase. So there's your information right there. So down here, I'll put in that 80 of these were sold and 210 of these were sold. So what the problems? Wait a minute. This might not be right. Let me think about this. Ooh. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's correct. I was thinking of a problem I did last semester that was a little bit different than this. Anyway, I'm saying this is telling me that 290 units were sold. That sounds high, but if I go and check, it is in fact 290 units, so I am around the money. Okay, so we're good. So now we got to figure out, well, what's left in our ending inventory. Okay, so I think I can do this math in my head. So we got 130 of beginning inventory, and we removed 80 of them. That's going to leave us what 50? 50 units. 50. Yeah, that looks good. And then 240, and we took out 210, so there's still 30 left from that second group. All right, got that? So now we're going to go on to March 18th, where we have another purchase. 100 units is 6160. So here's the 100 units, 6160. Oop. All right. So what's in ending inventory? Well, we got the 50 units from beginning inventory, the 30 units from the second purchase, and then the 100 that we just added. Okay, so it's just kind of repeating this plus that new purchase. Okay, easy. One more purchase on the 25th of March. Right there, 180 units, 6360. So 180 units, 6360. All right. Let's see. So what's left? Okay, so what's left in inventory? It's going to be these things repeated, right? So the 50, the 30, the 100, okay? Plus the new purchase of 180. So that's what's in inventory after the March 25th purchase. And now we got to do some specific identification again from March 29th, okay? So the March 29th sale consisted of, right there, let's see, it says 60 units from the March 18th purchase and 100 units from the March 25th purchase. Okay, so the March 18th purchase is the 6160. So we sold 60 of those, and we sold 100 from the March 25th purchase. Okay, so that's it told me 0 of these and 0 of these. Okay, 60 of those and 100 of those, which is 160 total sold, and that looks like it's working, right, based on the information in the problem. All right. So what's left in inventory? Well, these 50 from beginning inventory are still there. The 30 from the first purchase are not touched here, so they're still there too. We had 100 here. We just removed 60 of them, so there's still 40 left. And then we've got, what's this here? We've got 180. We sold 100, so there's 80 left from that last purchase. So these four numbers had better darn well equal 200. Let's see if this works. That's 8, that's 12. So yeah, it's going to be 200, right? It's what, 80 and then 120 add together to 200. So that does, the math definitely works there. We've got 200 units left in inventory. I feel very good about what I've done. Let's go ahead and do a quick check my work. What happened? Here we go. I see nothing but green goodness. Okay. Now we're going to come down to all right, so here we're still in specific identification. And here, so we got our ending cost of goods sold right there, $26,070. And our final inventory balance is $11,830. All right, so remember, this number here has to go forward to the problem number 6 as cost of goods sold. for specific notification, I think that was what, $26,070, if memory suits me correct. Let's check that. Well, I think that's right. And I'm doing this math here. 40,570 minus 26,060. I'm coming up with $14,500. Money, right? And that's as far as I'm planning on going. All right, so you've got to go back and do LIFO and FIFO yourself. Remember, all these you got to use your numbers because your numbers will be different than mine anyway. But that's all you got to do. It's not overly hard. You just got to take it a nice systematic approach. And the hardest part of this is kind of figuring out, how to read this chart down here. And you better believe that on your test you're gonna have something similar to this. And if you're lucky, I'm gonna give you like 2 check your works. That's me being generous, right? So maybe I'll give you, I can probably do 2. But anyway, so just take it slow. Think about each day and what happened, and you should be able to knock these problems out. Now, so what I'm planning on doing now is I'm getting ready to cut this off, and I'm going to get your Unit 3 test prepared and online and available, and you can start on it as soon as it's up there, and it'll run through for about a week. Okay, and you get it done. Get it done, guys. Until then, I don't expect to be back for any more 2310 stuff until Monday, when we will start talking about cash, which is Chapter 8, which is we're going to do some petty cash transactions, and also what we call a bank rec, which is kind of like, maybe your grandma's like, is he teaching you how to balance a checkbook? Well, that's what we're going to do, okay? We call it a bank reconciliation. Swanee, what's up, man? Doing some actual real work right now. But anyway, guys, have a great day, and I'll see you guys for a live broadcast somewhere between 12 and 12:30 on Monday, and we'll talk to you then, guys. Have a great weekend. Get out, enjoy some of the sunshine, but make sure you're far away from everybody else. But get some sunshine and get some vitamin D, right? So we'll talk to you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend. So long.